Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the final episode of Red Center by Night, Second Inquisition. We have lost comrades, fought against the greatest evil that could walk the earth, and yet humanity still persevered. But I wouldn't say anything more aside from let's just roll the credits. The night had set in the heart of Australia. Within it, Pine Gap, also known as the Ark, which is a secret facility central base of Hunters and Second Inquisition in Australia, is brimming with activity. There are a lot of people going in and out, military personnels, all preparing for a fight, and somehow it is a vast, stark contrast compared to what we saw before with the garden. In the cool evening that swept through the red sands, we find a tall, distinguished gentleman wearing a turtleneck and a coat standing in front of the Ark's front doors, waiting and watching. We will recognize this individual as Professor Tristan Baum, but we previously knew him as Trist. Next to Tristan is a young, anxious-looking young lady with bright eyes who we will recognize as Aline Max, constantly looking around nervously, unsure of what will happen next. A military van drives through the gates and stops in front of the two individuals who are waiting. The first one to come out is a striking young lady wearing a full tactical, regulated outfit for the Inquisitors. We will recognize this woman as Mr. Cass Locke, or more likely just known as Mr. Locke.
Mr. Locke, it's absolutely our honor to host you here. How are you?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
How was your trip?
Fine.
Yeah, it's much better at this time than it is in this heat, trust me. Forgive my manners, my attaché, Aline.
Nice to meet you.
Well, I have been reading over your activity. I have to say I'm extremely impressed. You've been exceedingly busy. I hope we're not too boring here for you.
Well, only one way to find out.
Very true, very true. Please.
Another military van drives through, but this time looks to be a medical van. After stopping in front of the three individuals standing in front of the Ark's front doors, we see a young, beautiful Asian woman walk down, climb out of the car, and we will recognize her as Dr. Yue.
Dr. Yue, how are you?
Professor Tristan Baum, I presume.
Most certainly, I have to say it is a pleasure to see you. I have been watching your career most carefully.
It is my pleasure to be here.
Please, this is the Ark, my attaché, Aline, and I am unsure if you're familiar with Mr. Locke.
Elaine?
Lovely to meet you.
Miss Locke?
Doctor?
Well, the Ark hasn't been so full in such a long time, but I doubt there's anything out here really, Mr. Locke, that could probably phase you. And especially as well, Dr. Yue, there's a lot in here that we pride ourselves on our knowledge, but the amount that you're bringing, there's many inside truly anxious to just desperately hope for a word with you.
Oh, I'm excited to begin my work here. It has been such a long time.
It's been far too long, far too long. Even at night, I have to say, the heat still sticks around. Would you like to step inside?
Lead the way.
We'll head into the base towards the actual part that is the Ark.
Yep. And the security guard stops. At least everyone recognizes you, Professor Tristan.
How are you?
All good, sir?
Excellent. Do you have the security tags and welcome packs?
Oh, yes, of course, sir. Removes the hat and... Ooh, violently.
As I said, everyone's very anxious to meet you all.
And Aline obviously had her security ID. However, hands Dr. Yue the pack with the security ID. And as this young gentleman hands you the pack, Mr. Locke, you notice that he is shaking a bit.
You alright there?
Yes, all good, Mr. Locke. We've heard so much about you. I just want to say that I'm a really big fan. It's like you're like, you're the next Mr. Davis. It's like amazing. Like, wow.
It's alright. It's good to meet you too.
Wow.
In the flesh. Just pat the guard on the shoulder. Like, you're doing a terrific job.
Thank you, sir.
Head in. As we're walking, I said, yes, we haven't had someone of your renown, Mr. Locke, since Mr. Tavis retired. So I think you may have a bit of a task fending off a bit of fangirling, if I can say.
It's alright. I'm sure it won't take long to get everyone in line.
I have no doubt. No doubt. And we'll head in towards the elevator. These passes should give you access to nearly any part of the Ark. There are a few areas that it will still remain restricted for, but if for whatever need you wish to go into those, we'll just have a discussion and I'm sure we can organize something.
Right. Professor Tristan, where are you bringing them first?
Would you like a tour of the whole facility? How familiar are you with the Ark? It's changed quite a bit since we recently were honored with your presence, Doctor. And I'm unsure, Mr. Locke, how familiar you are with the layout that we have.
I've been here before, but wouldn't mind a refresher.
Beautiful, not a problem. We'll run through, we'll do a full tour then.
Let's give a full tour.
A full tour. So, we'll take the elevator from the first area and it will go all the way down. And as we go down each floor, so the first floor, like this is the lobby. This is really where Pine Gap and the Ark meld together. So you may see some civilian staff here. So best to keep things discreet around here. We occasionally get some wanderers in and they have to be turned away. So we try to detract as much attention as possible. As the elevator continues down, like this is the garage floor. You'll see the array. We have very few military vehicles. We try to keep the need for violence around here as minimal as possible. The word we try to aim for is discreet here. This is surveillance, and if necessary, we step in to balance things. The next step is, I think, especially for you, Mr. Locke, will probably be very interesting. This is where we keep the majority of the armory. As you'll see, we have a gunsmith. Inside, they have the more advanced weaponry, we'll say. Brelfos, Dragon's Breath, if necessary. I've informed them of your arrival, and so you have, at your discretion, whatever you require.
Thank you.
Not a problem. The next floor, as you'll see, is the server and IT floor. We do have very, very little information technology. In my age, I must say, I've come to distrust it quite a bit. I'm aware of what a weakness it proves to the Ark. We keep most of the things here just more for archiving and the like. There's nothing really too important going on, but you will of course have access to a desktop and a laptop to do whatever studies you require. The next floor, this is the archive. This is where all the reports, and this is where Aline works as well, flow through here. This is truly the heart of the Ark. Information, data, all flows through here. So if there's anything that you require that you can't find, and I'm not around, please feel free to speak to them here. They will find everything. Underneath, we have dormitories, cafeteria, and just the waste levels as well. There is a level in between, as I said, that is restricted. That is my own personal sort of study. If you, for whatever reason, you feel you wish to enter, I'm more than happy to accompany you and go through and give you the full tour, but it's more just for the things that we've uncovered that I feel the general populace probably shouldn't have access to. There are as many things a wise man would do well to be ignorant of, in my opinion. Underneath, we have the library, which is our famed library. I was once told of a library others saw that was vast and huge, and I've tried to model this in a very similar fashion. Here we try to, research is really what we aim for here. Research, understanding, and knowledge. We're happy to pursue knowledge for its own gain here at the Ark, and we find that scholarship and learning is necessary, lest we detract into just a violent, totalitarian government. Underneath as well, we have the executive floor, and the bottom floor, which we'll grab, is the vault. Here, Dr. Yue, especially, I've informed them of your arrival. We have catalogued and kept any artifacts or any sort of reports and the like of supernatural manuscript, scripture. It's all archived down here. They're very anxious for the opinion of someone of your esteemed stature to have a look.
Fantastic. I will be going through that as soon as possible.
It is open to you. Yes, that is the structure that we have here.
Thank you.
If you'd be happy to join me in my personal office, we can have a discussion regarding, why we've called you back.
Certainly.
And I'll tap my security guard and we'll head to my personal office.
Yep. The elevator ride does not take long. The elevator itself is very simple and very minimalist. There's no fancy elevator music. There's no air fresheners inside. Just seems like a normal security building's elevator. And then it dings to indicate that you have reached the floor of Professor Tristan's office.
So my office overlooks, as you'll see here, the whole library. I like to be close to the books, and I'm proud to say I've read nearly everything in here. Our archive is most complete. There are subjects of nearly every matter that you'll find here, whether it be relating to the Tremere, the ways of the Kuei Jin. There's even, we're unsure whether it's actually still just superstition or supernatural fact relating to powers of mages and the like. But please, sit down. Can I fetch either of you a drink at all, a coffee?
No, I'm fine. Thank you, Professor.
Just some water.
Water, certain. Would you like a coffee? Coffee. Make a coffee and be like, yes, I know, I'm making coffee for my own assistant. We try to keep everyone's position here. Everyone is excellent at something here. I pride myself on my coffee making, I must say. I'll offer you a bottle of water. I myself will sit down with a crisp rock star.
Oh, well, perhaps I'll have to take you up on the coffee next time.
Certainly, anytime. Please feel free to use it. We have our coffee machines on nearly every floor. I have travelled with many compatriots, all of them very fond of coffee, so it's something of a personal addiction for myself, I must say. But please, tell me about your travels, your trip over here. What have you both been up to? I'm very eager to hear what you've been doing.
I was summoned here back to Australia following instructions from my elders.
Mm-hmm.
But I must say that I've kept it intentionally vague as to why I'm needed at the Ark, so I was hoping that you would shed some light on that.
Oh, absolutely, all in good time. Mr. Locke, how have your travels been?
Yeah, well, I've been off helping to set up around Australia. Now, yeah, I guess in the same vein, haven't really been told much about why I'm needed back here.
Absolutely. It has been intentionally kept vague, I must say, and that's by my own request, which I apologize for. We do extend, and please, when you next communicate with them, if I don't beforehand, with the elders, that we are extremely appreciative. And, well, of course, for someone of your stature to be working with us is something we're very, very privileged to have. Tell me, what do you know about the area and the activities around the Ark? Are you familiar with really what we've been up to in the past while?
Well, the last time I was here, I was still, for the lack of a better word, alive. So it has been quite some time since my last visit. I was told that you are studying something.
We certainly are, and that is our our main achievement here, or our main goal, I apologize. So let me give you a very brief rundown. Since I have been given custodianship of this facility, what I have aimed towards is the focus on scholarship and learning. The goal here is not to become some sort of... we live on a military base, there's more than enough guns and door kicking down. We favour more here the precise strikes, such as Mr. Locke is renowned for. We don't wantonly attack or destroy. We find a threat, we remove that threat precisely, and then we move on. We're not here necessarily to... I'm under no illusion that we're going to single-handedly save humanity, and nor, such as yourself, Doctor, as evidence of that, not all things supernatural are a direct threat to mankind. There is a balance and a homeostasis that we're trying to preserve, and we sit here, much like your elders, watching, and should that balance be upset, we attempt to step in.
Wise words.
Thank you. What we are studying around here, there is a phenomena, especially underground. I'm not sure if either of you are familiar with the salt mines in the region. There has been reports coming in that what is happening in there defies even our own understanding of the most renowned researchers here, or the most experienced veterans. We're not sure what it is, and when I reviewed a personnel for an approved strike team to go in and have a look, both your names popped up at the forefront.
Could you perhaps elaborate a little on the nature of these phenomena?
Certainly. There is an agent who, much like the two of yourself, is held in extremely high esteem and with talent, who has gone missing in there. And there is a reputation of these salt mines for Inquisition teams to come in and never come out. And I personally would like to ensure there are no unnecessary casualties. Not that there really are any necessary ones at all, but I'm loath to send anyone in who I feel doesn't have the ability to come back out again, depending on what they face in there. And I have absolutely no doubt that the pair of you have the capability. And myself, I will be joining you. I have no desire to send anyone in to face something that I myself would not be willing to. And of course, Aline, my attaché, will join and to report on everything that we find. This is not an order. I'm not your superior. I'm merely a colleague requesting if it's something that interests Dr. Yue. Of course, the Equagian will have access to anything we find in there that you feel is acceptable to share. And Mr. Locke, I'm sure we'd all feel a lot safer having someone like yourself by our side.
I appreciate that you've thought of me. Can't see why not.
Well, I'm already here, so...
Very true. Well, Lily, please get settled. There's rooms for you just downstairs. I just need to review a few things. And soon we'll meet up again, we'll convene and prepare, and I'll give you a brief overview of the salt mines and what we're going to be doing.
No worries.
Alright. What is Mr. Locke and Dr. Yue doing?
Mr. Locke is going to go and check up on the military assets, I guess you could put it. Sort of check in with the people working there, sort of seeing what the base has on hand, that sort of stuff.
Yep. In the armory level of this facility, you would meet what looks to be young interns. It seems that they are part of the program that Professor Tristan had set up. Most of them are working hard, disassembling, assembling, trying to see if it actually lines up. There's a practice range at some corner where there's a group of young, steam-looking nerds just arguing about which one would kill a blank body faster. And in the middle of this chaos is the only word I can think of it's like a playground for weapon nerds is what I'm saying. And all of them are just arguing with each other or just doing their own thing, assembling their own weapons. Is in the middle of this whole mess is what seems to be a woman sitting down on a table full of pieces, and she is writing it all away. She's got this wavy, almost white, platinum blonde hair, and her eyes shine is like really like icy blue as she writes down all the details, picks up a tiny screw and writes it down on her notes.
Is it all there?
Yes, everything seems to be, and she stops when she sees you. Hi?
Hi. Mr. Locke.
I'm Tanya.
Nice to meet you, Tanya.
Oh, you're that Mr. Locke, right? Like graduated academy in really young age, like
Well,
youngest field agent.
I don't know of any other.
Wow. Oh wow. No wonder everyone's like crazy right now.
You mean it's not usually like this?
I mean, usually it's like this, but you know, they're kind of like extra right now.
I see. Because they've got eyes on them.
Yeah. Oh, do you want a chair? Do you need anything? I can provide you with any equipment you would need.
Well, it seems like I may be needing some sort of firepower, perhaps.
Yep. Well, do you know what you will be fighting against? Or just...
No idea.
Okay. Well, she picks up a clipboard and stands up and walks you through the whole thing. Well, we got the dragon's breath, which is extremely just... kills everything. You know? We got all sorts of rifles if you need it, and just... She actually, presses a button on the wall, and it turns one of this wall, turns it around to show a revolving number of rifles, but then it gets stuck in the middle and she's just like banging at it and it moves back to normal. Pretend you didn't see that. Put it in the notes. Professor Tristan will fix it probably.
It's alright, just get property onto it.
Yeah. And we've got all of the vests you need. We've got this, we got this experimental thing we're working on. It's like a suit, but it has the vest inside, sewn into it. Very fancy. Like James Bond kind of deal.
Covert.
Yes. We're working on being discreet.
I like that. Might have to try it on at some point.
Oh, yes.
Not today.
So which one are we looking for? Going loud or...
Going small and portable.
Okay. She leads you towards another area where there's just a shelf of all the weapons you can think of that is more portable. There are daggers, there's bats, there's knuckles, but there are also the small pistols and the small handguns.
Yep, Mr. Locke grabs a dagger, grabs a handgun.
Okay, and for the round, Ralphus is enough, I guess. I don't know if you'll be fighting anything crazier than a blank body, but if you are, you should just bring a grenade launcher.
Just set the whole thing on fire.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do it. I can't do field missions. It's scary.
It's alright. Without the people to support us from behind the scenes, we wouldn't be able to do our jobs.
Thank you. And Tanya like turns around and goes like, yeah!
Cool. Well, yeah, now that Mr. Locke's got what they've come for, it was very nice to meet you, Tanya. I'm sure I'll see you again soon.
I'll see you again. Good luck on your mission.
Thank you. Heads out.
As you're heading out, you can start hearing her squealing.
Cute.
Right, Dr. Yue.
Dr. Yue is heading straight down to the vault.
Okay.
She is not Well, she's proficient with firearms, but that is not her main method of attack. So she will go down to the vault to satisfy her personal curiosities more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And she will basically search the vault for any items of interest.
The vault itself is like the word vault. There's just a bunch of items inside, more likely on shelves, in boxes of shelves. There's some that have descriptions, but most of them doesn't because it's still unidentified. As Dr. Yue, you are searching through what you want. You hear an you turn around and there is this really tall Korean-looking guy. He is wearing a suit and a tie, quite clean shaven. His hair is in a military cut, and he's extremely handsome.
I don't think I've seen you before. Pleasure making your acquaintance, Mr.
Oh, it's just, I guess my English name is Raphael.
Raphael. Dr. Yue.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Are you new to the facility?
Well, returning after a long, unplanned holiday. But
Oh.
I am back and as a consultant.
Consultant.
Yes.
Do you have a team already, or?
We were greeted by Professor Tristan Bong, and I believe we are about to head out on a mission soon.
Oh, already?
Yes.
You just got here.
Seeing that you're down here in the vault with what I assume to be relatively high clearance,
Yeah.
would you mind telling me a little bit more about yourself?
Well, yes, I am. I am sort of new to the Inquisition. Only been 2 years since the professor found me. I used to be in the orphanage, or at least working there, and then I don't know what went down, but they've found out that I'm really good with research and finding strange things, items in the wild.
Strange things.
Yeah, let's say we go through a house, I would find something out of place. But you guys can't see it. It's almost like an instinct for me, and I guess that's my asset. I'm just good at finding things.
Like, you're gifted with seeing otherworldly things.
I guess you could say that, yeah.
I would like to activate Ghost Sight. And kind of just very subtly assess him.
Yep. As you assess this young man, he is brimming with holy power.
Nice. I can see that the Inquisition is doing well for itself.
Yeah. You could say that. I mean, there's a lot of homework, you know. I find an item, I have to write like a 10-page report on it, research about it, and it's...
Would you happen to be familiar with the vault?
Oh, yeah.
Seeing as you probably find a lot of the items that's now archived here.
Yeah, I can help you find something there. Did you lose something?
I'm thinking... I don't know. What would you suggest?
Depends on what you need it for. I mean, if it's super secret, you can just give us what motive or what you'll be using it for. Like, is it for fighting, defensive? You just want to see ghost? Want to flirt with ghost? Want to fuck a ghost?
Mentally filing that away for later. Like, that went to a different direction that I was next.
I mean, every item I find, the first thing all the other researchers will ask, can you use it to fuck something?
Again, very on brand. I'm thinking I'm not exactly combat personnel, but for some strange reason, my mind keeps on wandering to that of a sword.
A sword.
Yeah.
I have to look around because we haven't had a lot of sword come through. I haven't found any at least.
Don't know why I keep thinking about that.
I mean, we have daggers. You like a dagger?
And I already like take out my ceremonial dagger.
Oh.
Like I give it a spin around and then I put it back.
Respect.
Well, Raphael, if there is nothing else that, well, since that you've been helping me, thank you very much. But if there is nothing else that I can help you with, I will.
I mean,
return.
you're going on a mission immediately? How about taking a talisman with you?
Sorry,
A talisman.
I can do that.
And he leads you further inside the vault, where he opens or brings out this jewelry box. He opens it up, and it's just rows of colorful talisman, you know, like those things you get from a temple.
Alright, I'm going to use my ghost side to pick the shiniest one.
Of course you will. It's the yellow one.
That one.
Alright, here you go. Very bright color too. What's- Okay, I pretend I did not hear that.
Oh, thank you, Raphael. If does he appear to be like guarding the vault at all? To stop me from wandering around?
What's an inside?
Oh, nothing on inside. Oh, not very insightful.
Wits, you're saying?
Oh,
Just
I
wits.
just wits.
Straight wits.
I am. Oh, I cannot process. So, 2 successes.
2 successes, you get the general idea that Raphael is guarding, or at least the guardian of this area, put in charge here.
No sneaking around behind his back then.
Yep.
Alright, I take my talisman and I bid him farewell.
Before you go, once your mission's done, would you like to like catch like a bunch of us and have a drink? Like we always have a drink after work and stuff. I mean,
Oh, that's a welcome change, of course. See you when I get back.
lit. Yeah, yeah, I'll see you.
Bye. And I was like,
Kind of totally not suspicious at all.
like, I have all the power.
Alright. Professor Tristan, do you do anything to prepare?
I would like to use my library edge, which is specifically how to harm them as well. So I can do a bit of research and just find out do I know exactly what we're facing down there, or
You would know exactly. You've faced them before.
okay, so it is exactly what I think
Yes.
is down there. Okay, cool. Yeah, I would like to do how to harm them, just to get a bit more insight if there's something I can do to prepare us combat wise than we are now.
Yep. I mean, most of those creatures, you can always... that's why... With at least your edge, you would know that you need to bring somebody with the unnatural endowment.
That's all right. I choose my staff very carefully. I keep someone nearby at all times who can repel and sense the unnatural. And, just so I can keep making coffee. That's why I make the coffees for her in case she leaves and a ghost attacks me. I'm, not completely dead immediately. I'm probably sitting drinking a coffee, just looking out over the library, trying to think if there's any other possible answer to me going back down there, and knowing there's not, but still trying to hope and see if I can think of one. I'll probably I will go to my own study and just take out the beads, the bracelet, and put these on. Feel a lot better having these on. Aline, I know you are, well, I'll be honest. I know going out into a salt mine haunted with spirits and evil probably isn't your idea of fun. But I don't really have any other option. I'm sorry.
Let's go.
If only everyone was so eager. Alright, can you please speak to the guards and find out where Mr. Locke and Dr. Yue are currently, and we'll have a very brief debrief before we head off.
Sure. And I head off to the guards.
Yep. The guards like welcome you when they see you, like, "Hey, Aline!"
Hey, hi everyone. Just wanting to check in on our visitors.
Yep. The ones that came through, right?
That's the one. Those
Okay.
two.
Well, one is just got back from the vault. They've touched on the elevator, so I can send a ping where they are and let them know that they are needed at Professor Tristan's study, if that's where you guys are debriefing. Blah. Sorry. And the other one just got back from the armory as well.
Wonderful. That would be greatly appreciated.
All right. Is there anything else you want us to do?
No, have a great day.
Oh, you too. Oh, and good luck in your first field mission.
Oh, thank you. So nervous. So excited.
Everyone's always nervous. Always the first. After that, you'll be fine. Don't worry. You'll be fine.
And I'll head off.
Yeah. Dr. Yue and Mr. Locke, you actually get a ping from the key card. And behind it, if you turn it around, there would be an actual tiny, it's like a pager screen that says, please head to Professor Tristan's office.
Neat.
Cool. I head to Professor Tristan's office.
When they come in, I'm probably midway through a speech writing to myself. Be like, find out just how much they know regarding hermetic magic versus thaumaturgy, because...
Professor.
Oh, excellent. You're both very prompt. I'm sorry, I wasn't ready for you both to be here already. Excellent. Very efficient, Aline. Thank you. How was your tour and trip? Did you both find what was necessary?
Certainly.
Excellent. Well, let me give you a very brief overview. I know. No computers here in in Professor Baum's office. He pulls out just a scroll and be like, well, this is here what we've collated based on what the very few amounts of surveillance we've managed to have go near the salt mine versus my own personal notes of what I'm aware is down there. What would, in your opinion, if I could ask, and there is a reason for this, what is the most pervasive foe either of you have ever faced? Not necessarily against mankind, but just an overall idea. What is, in your own summary, the scariest thing you have come up against?
Demons.
I don't think anyone here has quite that experience besides yourself, Dr. Yue, and that's very much part of why we've called for you. Mr. Locke?
As in physical or...
By your own assessment.
Chaos.
That's very similar to what we're going to be facing down there. I'm not entirely certain what it is that's down there, but there's the phenomena that I mentioned previously. It manifests separately for each individual, and it conjures up your own on a reflection of whatever your deepest, darkest fear you've faced is. I wish I could say it is just an illusion. I'm unsure whether it relates similar to the psychic abilities of some of our staff, but the manifestations are no illusion. They are fully capable of harming you, and will seek to do so, absolutely. In terms of how to combat it directly, I've only ever seen it once be performed, and is unfortunately not a power anyone here possesses in order to do so. Instead, cohesiveness, cooperation, and unity will be our strongest weapons against whatever is down there.
I have a question, Professor.
Please.
What is our goal or your desired outcome for this trip? Are we simply on a reconnaissance mission, or do we seek to destroy or kill something?
Is the goal that we're going down there, is that something that I've been given orders from up high to share, or is it something that is a secret?
Your goal there is it's your own
Personal goal?
personal goal, which is to find.
Yes. There is where this is not necessarily a reconnaissance mission. I am still entirely uncertain, and I'll be honest with you, whether this is a rescue or an assassination mission. One of our staff, again, as I mentioned previously, went in there to investigate and has not returned. And based on what is down there, they either are in need of dire rescue, or they have been corrupted to beyond any capability of saving, and represent a threat entirely to this organization and installation, and we need to remove them. I wish I could say which it is directly. That would be an assessment we'll have to make on the field.
Got it. So find out the source of corruption, rescue or terminate ex-Inquisition member?
Not necessarily in that order, but yes, correct. If
Yeah.
the understanding of what is causing the corruption, the phenomena, is a secondary goal, it is more if you happen to find anything for catalogue and tagging, we will do so and return back to the installation. But the main goal of this mission is to find this member and return them.
How long has this member been down there?
Part of the phenomena that occurs down there is time seems to operate differently. Whether there's a sort of veil that has thinned between some other realm and our own is a possibility that has been brought forth by our researchers. Based on our own assumption, it's almost very impossible to pinpoint when he went down. He was very clandestine about it, as his modus operandi. Based on what he has experienced down there, he may feel it has been 20 minutes. It may have been 10 years in his experience. So be prepared to encounter an Inquisition agent who is in an extremely aggressive state. Be prepared to encounter someone who is quite distraught and elderly.
What is his name?
The name that you would know him by is a Mr. Talon. I'm not
What
sure if
is
you're
he?
familiar.
Both of you have not heard of any Mr. Talon, especially you, Mr. Locke, considering that this person has the Mr. title. You've known and worked with a lot of Misters, but you have not heard about any Mr. Talon.
But in our world, how long has he been missing?
How long has he been gone?
Mr. Talon never existed here.
Oh,
He went missing in that
in previous
previous
Yeah.
dimension, which means his self here is just gone.
somewhere. Again, it's impossible to say. But this is of personal interest to me, and most certainly of interest to the Inquisition and the knowledge that it could gain, and I must continue to fight. And I'm sure the elders of the Quajian, while I will not speak for them, of course, would be most keen to learn more regarding this phenomena.
Of course.
And we have agreed to share this information under the proviso that we are given access to someone such as yourself to assist.
Of course.
Is there any further questions at all?
Not at the moment.
Please, I encourage you to ask them whenever they appear. In terms of equipment, was there anything further that you required? I hope you were both furnished politely. I'll apologize in advance for Raphael. He's extremely eager, especially understanding the difference between something that will fuck them up versus something that will fuck them. It's work in progress, unfortunately. They're young and eager.
Everyone learns with time.
Very, very, very true.
Well, considering we don't really know what it is we're facing, I guess what I've got we'll have to do.
I will be bringing Aline along as well. She's very eager also, as you can tell. But she has access also, whether it's a genetic trait or not, we're still unsure. But similar to Raphael, the ability to, when it comes to the supernatural overall, to perceive and assist, her ability is undeniable.
With ghost sight still active, what does Ilian look like?
Aline is brighter than Raphael.
Oh, very gifted.
Only the best here. Well, if we have everything we require, let's head off.
All right. Are you taking one of the military vans or a discreet truck or a car?
Military van. If I had a fighter jet, I would take a fighter jet. I would take a goddamn tank and drive it straight in there, shooting non-stop.
So much for discreet.
Yeah, discreet when necessary. It is vastly necessary not to be discreet right now. I will take alive over discreet any day.
The drive to the salt mine is there any conversation?
Well, I guess I'm trying to not necessarily catch up with Professor Baum, but kind of try to get in his headspace about how he's been able to operate so efficiently and with the degree of foresight that he has since the last time I've been here, even though it's been a number of years, but still the progress has been amazing and, dare I say, a little unnatural.
It's almost like he can see the future.
A lot of stocks in Google. A lot of stocks in Google. Please, you're inquiring regarding just the formation of the arc as a whole, or what is it specifically?
Well, I guess more of his goals and ambitions. Like, what does he hope to get out of this aside from just cataloging and researching?
Certainly.
Because there is always an end goal to research.
Well, Professor Rummel put that his notebook. Part of what I've been working on is a holistic, really, change of the Inquisition at the Ark as a whole. As I'm sure you remember, the focus previously was on a lot more of a militaristic point of view. The problem which I personally found when it comes to a militaristic organization without so much of a remit in foresight and focus, you end up just firing on all fronts and you don't really fix anything as opposed to create a problem yourself. So please, I'd welcome your opinion on this. I've put together, based very much similar on my experiences in my previous years when I worked for some other groups, just some focuses I like to work on. So the first one really that I try to instill in all the students is the pursuit of knowledge for its own sake. The Inquisition, if we're going to, well, not so much save but protect humanity, enlightenment must be sought for both ourselves and all of humanity as a whole. And as a member of your kind, I'm sure, in terms of enlightenment, while I know a very vague term, is something sought yourself. Additionally, and Professor Baum's going to kind of look to Mr. Locke in this. I understand that various personal motives for the supernatural come in for people in this sort of work. What I seek to look at, and I appreciate in regards to blank bodies, especially your specific focus, Mr. Locke, is that I posit that the world of the supernatural requires balance as opposed to eradication, which I'm sure your kind would support and be pleased to hear. The supernatural have existed long before my time, they'll exist long beyond my time, and really they have grown as a part of humanity, not specifically the blank bodies themselves, but overall. So it's the highest form of hubris to assume we're going to, well, it's not even, in some cases, not even hubris, but just outright genocide. Who are we to dictate the morality of what people do? The slaughterhouses exist, which is very much similar to how the blank bodies view humans. how can we stand up on our own moral high tower and look down on them when we do the same to our own food?
Very wise.
Well, thank you. I do try my best. In terms of that as well, there was the phrase as well that when you separate us, and I'm paraphrasing, which I'm aware of, but when you separate warriors and scholars, all your learning will be done by cowards and all your fighting done by idiots. I try to combine them both here at the Arc. Everyone focuses in their own specific area, and that's completely fine, and I encourage that. But I want everyone to be able to use intelligence emotionally as well to when they're dealing with things. We observe and we act impartially here. We don't, or at least I don't believe we have the ability to evaluate morality of the supernatural and simply just by virtue of their own existence decide that they deserve eradication.
For the first time in perhaps all her life, Dr. Yue is at a loss for words because it feels like someone has read her mind and she has nothing to add.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Locke, in regards to this? I'd be also eager to hear your opinion.
Look, whilst my ideals don't fully align, I do believe that generally you've got the right idea.
I appreciate that. And I'm not claiming to be correct either. I may very well be wrong. But all I can do is but attempt to do my best.
It is so heartwarming to see the Inquisition under such competent and wise leadership.
Oh, thank you. I had the opportunity I had many fine examples to follow in and many lessons that they were able to teach me. What about you, Aline? You've been listening to all of this. I very rarely, which I apologize for, ask your opinion. What is your belief? Am I correct in seeking harmony, or perhaps you favor Mr. Locke's opinion of more direct approach?
I prefer harmony.
Simply stated, I appreciate it. Tell me, Dr. Yue, my own studies, which often I find myself lacking in, which is something I regret dearly. In terms of your kind, you've returned recently from your elders, and the phrasing escapes me, but the vulgar term of training, I guess, in your own way. What of your own beliefs? What do you come to Australia hoping to achieve? I've outlined my own desires and goals. What of yourself?
Well, despite my current Equation affiliation, I became a surgeon many, many moons ago to save lives. So while my elders do seek to expand Equation influence here in Australia, I believe that goal is not necessarily mutually exclusive to the benefit of others. If possible, I would like to establish a hospital for the supernatural so that whilst we do gain a stronger foothold here in the heart of Australia, we can also use it for the betterment of all supernatural creatures.
An interesting reasoning. And Mr. Locke, your opinion on that, as someone who so often is the cause of supernaturals going to many such hospitals?
Well, to use the word that you've used, in order to find harmony, there needs to be order. We uphold that order.
You're an example, Mr. Locke, that I hope many in our organisation will follow. Perhaps someone similar to Aline, if you would be interested in working in such a hospital looking after the supernatural, is that something you think you would be interested in one day?
I would love that. That sounds wonderful.
It would be my honor to have an individual as gifted as Lynn.
And
my
be
side.
out of an assistant. That's irrelevant, entirely the case. Well, I have to say I'm very pleased, and I take no small amount of pride in the team that I thought would do well for this, and you seem to both be doing excellently. You have your unique talents, and hopefully this will go well. In terms of what we are going to face down here, very rarely do I encourage that there is a compartmentalization of information in the group, but My personal opinion, and I'll leave it to your own judgment of what we're going to face down there, is something that the wider knowledge of the Inquisition should not be aware of. There are people, I think, that are arrogant enough to think that they can control what is down here and use to their own ends. I harbour no such idea. What I think is down there is beyond at least our current comprehension. I'm hoping to fix that, and most certainly outside of our control, which is why I'm suggesting we get in, we get out, and if there is anything we can catalogue, let's do so, but secondary. The longer we are there, the more severe the repercussions that may occur from within will be for us.
I think I will withhold my judgment until I see for myself what is down there.
I would expect nothing less. With that, Professor Tristan's going to sit back and wish he had a cigarette, but he's too old to smoke cigarettes nowadays. He's seen too much. He's too old for this shit.
Yeah, Professor Tristan keeps saying he's old, but he actually has not aged at all in those 20 years.
I'm a bit grayer. A little bit.
A little bit
A little
grayer.
bit. Y2K was a hard time.
Did you buy Bitcoin?
I did. How do you think we're funding all of this? How do you think that there's an actual budget this time? We're nothing but Google stocks, Bitcoin. We did Dogecoin for that brief period that it went up and then went down again. Someone really heavily went in on the fact on Blockbuster, but that was more out of nostalgia than actual idea of it doing well. But you can't not support Blockbuster.
Some people doesn't know what Blockbuster is. So
And you're trying to tell me not to feel old? Saying some people don't know what Blockbuster is makes me feel old.
some people remember Netflix being sending DVDs into your houses.
He'll sit and read his book. That's what he'll do.
Yeah. Right. As the car arrives at the salt mine that's been heavily guarded by discreet agents, you are let in through the gates. The van drives in, as the gates open, the van drives in with all of you in it. You can see some agents wearing casual clothing, saluting the van.
I keep telling them not to do that.
But the van stops in front of what seems to be cordoned off area. It's the entrance to the salt mine. And you haven't seen the entrance of the salt mine in 20 years, Trist.
It's 20 years too early. Seeing it around already. Here we are. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
I'm just going to walk out to the guards, give them a nod. Evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you? How's everything going?
Everything's quiet as usual.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. Do you need anything? Everything is
No, everything is set, sir.
beautiful. Thank you very much. We'll be going inside. It's hard to dictate a period of time should we not arrive. After an extremely extended period of time, if we should not emerge, please contact. We'll go to my office. In the top of the drawer, there will be a note. Follow the instructions on that note to the letter.
The guards look at each other and hesitantly agrees. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Extreme amount of time.
After you, please.
Heads on in.
Yeah, as the only supernatural creature, I go first.
Alright. The door itself, the entrance to the salt mine, is this really old, rotten piece of wood. And it creaks open, its wings open. It looks like it's about to fall off its hinges. But Dr. Yue, you managed to go in first. Who's next?
I'll follow behind.
Follow behind Mr. Locke, and then...
I'll take up the rear.
Okay, Aline's next. And we got Professor Tristan Baum.
He is whistling as it just goes down.
As you, at least before you enter the premises, you hear a whisper into your mind. Sort of a warning. It feels like the one that saved you, like the older Jeff, not the Jeff that you knew, but the one that saved you, giving you just a big warning.
Is that a frequent thing that's happened previously, or is this the first time in 20 years?
It's the first time in 20 years that you've been contacted.
Is the warning into anything specific, or just to be careful in general?
It's more like turn away.
I'm going to just out loud say, just like, I wonder what the consequences of what we'll find down here are. And then just listen, see if there's any response back.
No response.
Only one way to find out.
Absolutely. Please do not be overly concerned. Well, no, do not still be concerned, but there is historically cases of all electronics failing to work when we get down, so contact through microphones will be difficult. Visual impairment also, it's very difficult to map out this place as the corridors seem to shift and change quite frequently.
Electronics, and she pulls out her gun.
Firearms should still be fine unless you're using something extremely high tech. It's still the same basic function. Gunpowder will most certainly still continue to work. It's more the case of electronic scanning, any sort of night vision or anything of the kind. But we have the likes of Dr. Yue to guide us even in darkness. And we have Aline here who is able to, just by virtue of being here, hopefully thwart, at least in the general area, anything we encounter. And should anything more visceral and physical come across, we have you, Mr. Locke.
Very well, Professor.
Really must invest in one of these, the suits. I'm not sure if they mentioned it to you.
The hidden.
Silicon carbide discs with the ceramic matrix inside. They just sew it between the lining. It's excellent. It's excellent for undercover work. But not that I'm trying to tell you how to do your job. You most certainly have more experience in it than I do.
Right?
Hands in pockets, just sitting and start tapping his foot nervously. It's been 20 years since he's been here.
And you still remember that day.
Oh yeah, it's hard to, I maybe gloss over a few bits, but it was pretty dramatic. I remember most. It was a bit of a life-defining experience.
Alright. And as you go through the whole area, you notice that every few meters there's actually a lantern just hanging around on top, lighting the way. This wasn't here before when you
Definitely.
first went through here.
Is it just a normal lantern? It's not glowing with any sort of...
It's just normal lantern, like a gas, those gas lanterns.
Is it attached by a hook, or is it like detachable?
It's attached by a hook on the top of the hallway.
Okay. Some improvements since last time. I was unaware that it had been fortified to such a degree, or that there was such frequent traffic down here. I'll have to address that later. But this is convenient. We can see, the three of us, and Dr. Yue, you don't have to exhaust any sort of effort in regards to just being able to see around. Very convenient.
Alright. As you continue to move forward, there is nothing significant for quite some time, like 15 minutes pass. It's just one long corridor. But then when the 30-minute minute passed, the 30-minute mark passed, sorry, you notice that you have passed the same rock again.
I did say, unfortunately, the sort of spatial layout of this area does seem to be very fluid. I'm going to walk up to the wall and just check the walls. Are they the same as how I remember?
Yes, they are the same. They are still warm and breathing.
Take a hand away.
Have I seen anything out of the ordinary with my sight?
With your ghost sight, no. This hallway seemed to be just continuous. If anything, your ghost sight is just... It's like repeating what you are seeing. It's like looking into a mirror that just... What do you call it? Infinity mirror? Two mirrors in front of each other and it's just continuous.
Well, we seem to be walking in circles. Dr. Dewey, what is your assessment?
I think my eyes are deceiving me, but it appears to be repeating the current space infinitely as I gaze to the end of the corridor.
Well reasons. Mr. Locke, any thoughts?
Could try changing direction.
Any thoughts from yourself?
I would like to see if I can sense anything.
Of course, yeah. Would you like to roll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could pull up Sense the Unnatural.
Since the unnatural should be written down there.
It's... Oh yeah, no, there it is.
So
Wits and Occult. So, 3 dice for wits and 3 dice for the occult as well. So it's 1 success and then 3 more.
3 more, yeah.
2 successes.
2 successes. With 2 successes, you would know that this area, at least front and back, there is a spatial anomaly that is keeping you in the same space. And it's something that you should be avoiding. Maybe a good idea to go another path. However, with your 2 successes, you can't find it because the spatial anomaly, the natural thing that's keeping you in here, is quite strong.
What are your thoughts?
I think we should look for another way.
Well reasoned as well. Yeah, as I mentioned, there seems to be some sort of temporal loop here, time and space repeat. It's very likely what you may experience and see is events that have already passed long ago or have yet to come to pass.
Yeah, I'd like to scan my environment for structural weaknesses again.
Oh yes! Let's go!
I feel like we've done this before.
Yeah, now that
Weird.
I don't know what you're talking about.
first the sword, now like this structural weakness thing. Very interesting.
Is that a good O or a bad O?
That was a bestial failure.
Oh.
Woo!
I am tempted to burn a willpower to reroll,
Yeah, it's up to you.
but this would be such a good roleplay moment.
Yeah, I leave the option to you.
I would like to not reroll. I think with how she has already experienced this, you would go into, despite her not having any memories, her inner demon, like her
No.
Poe, would know that this has already happened and have seen the end, and it would just freak out.
Oh no.
No, no.
Oh,
Oh,
we're doing so well.
we're doing so well. So competent in how the first fail.
I would like to leap out at Professor Baum and kind of shove him to the walls. It's like, what aren't you telling us?
Dr. Yue, I would request that you control yourself.
I would like to kind of lift him as high as possible as like the truth now.
I once again request Dr. Yue. I take no pleasure in this. Please put me down, otherwise I'll be forced to take actions.
Yeah, Mr. Locke's hand goes to the gun.
No, Professor Baum's just going to put a hand up while he's lifted a sec. Dr. Yue, please.
We've been here before, haven't we?
I'm unaware of you. Have you been down here previously? And if so, under the work of the Kuei Jin? I'm going to put one of my hands on her hand and then activate my artifact to give myself 3 extra dice.
Okay.
Oh, I have the perfect amount of dice. Four. Oh no, I don't need that much yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes on my edge test. It's 4 to be successful. I'm going to not choose, or if I can, not to deal any damage.
Yeah.
But grab her hand and force her hand away from me.
I'm not very strong, so
Oh,
you
fair enough.
do that very easily. Yeah.
And just with the other hand, not forcefully, but forcefully, but not with a shove.
Yeah.
Just put a hand against her and just step away. Dr. Yue, please control yourself. I believe the effect of this place may be getting to you.
I would like to see if he's lying.
What's an insight?
Just wits.
Just wits! A character with 0 insight!
Oh, that's gonna change, I swear. Oh, 1 success.
What success you can't tell.
Okay.
If you have any question of inquiry, I'm more than happy to discuss with you, but falling into violence, I'm sure, and just impulsive, reckless action is far beneath you. Take a moment, please, to compose yourself, and then I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you.
She is very torn between trying to see if you are lying or trying to figure out if it actually is this labyrinth that's affecting her mentally. But for the time being, she will begrudgingly step away.
Immediately let go.
Hands lock moves away from the gun.
Just kind of standing there nervously, looking at both of them.
Professor Bum's going to give an appreciative nod to Mr. Locke. Now, quickly and simply, Doctor, state your issue and let us address it and be done with it, please.
Maybe it is this labyrinth getting to me, but I keep getting, as this mission goes further and it progresses, I keep getting the feeling that I've been here before, that I've done this.
It's entirely possible, as I mentioned. We are in the midst currently of some sort of temporal rift. I, mere seconds ago, to my own understanding, but it may be different to your perception, stated that events that have already come to pass or may yet to come to pass be experienced. It's highly likely that an extreme sense of deja vu is going to occur to all of us.
Very well.
I can state honestly, and you can take my word for what it's worth, to my knowledge, you personally, Dr. Yue here, have never been here before. Whether that means that you've done some business for the Kuei Jin.
No, that is true.
Ooh, Mr. Locke. What's an insight on that? Professor, I would like you to roll manipulation and subterfuge.
Oh, I wasn't trying to trick her.
Well, you did say that you have not been here.
No successes. I meant her herself, not
2 successes.
Yue overall.
Yeah, you would know that Professor Tristan had lied in his statement that Dr. Yue has never been down here before.
Lying through my teeth.
Like you just see like you are being gaslit, like gate-kept and girlbossed.
Girl.
In the way that all people say when they're gaslighting, it's for your own good.
You see her become increasingly unsure of herself. I apologize, Professor. Maybe, yeah, I'm so sorry. It may really be this space that is messing with my thoughts.
I'm happy we can discuss this further, and I'm more than happy to. I completely understand and nothing to forgive. I entirely understand the various aspects of your condition. Well, I don't understand them entirely, but I'm very appreciative of the effect they may have. Let's schedule something. When we return back to the Ark, let us discuss in detail, but I don't believe now is the time for us to go into the particulars of
No,
what may be
agreed.
experienced.
Well, as I was what I was doing before this whole sudden deja vu thing, would I be able to make the same attempt again, or is that or have I just failed that?
I'd say you failed that for this scene.
Yeah.
You can try again later.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it's best for me to refrain from staring into the depth of this place for now.
At the risk of being cliche, staring into the abyss staring back.
Professor, seeing as you have the most experience with this place, perhaps it would be wise for you to lead the way.
Very sound reasoning, Mr. Locke. Very well. With the three of you watching my back, I'm more than happy to.
Yep. I followed directly behind the professor.
I let Eileen go third, and I take up rear.
While walking, Professor Baum's going to be discussing, or just saying aloud, being like, the various attempts of on our attacks on our perception. I'm unsure if it's potentially some sort of gravitational well beneath that's affecting the fluctuation in seismic activity. There is some sort of movement going on down here, but again, we've tried not to look too far into it.
Mr.
as
Locke.
inexperienced.
Puts their hand on the professor's shoulder and says quietly so the other two can't hear, "Why'd you lie to her?"
Tristan's just going to freeze. You saw how she just acted, merely looking. How do you think she would feel if she saw the entire picture?
Do you not think that perhaps it would be advantageous for her to see the entire picture?
It's going to turn around. It's like, would you want to see implement everything here?
I feel like we'd have a better chance of completing the mission with more information.
Very well. Just a brief moment, if we could. Dr. Yue, it was brought to our attention previously that some sort of experience here, there's a feeling of familiarity and existential terror, regardless of species or race, is shared here. Whether this is some sort of communal horror that we all fear. Much similar to the idea of the uncanny valley, if you're familiar, when looking at something that is not entirely human, that we all share. This place evokes something very similar. It's entirely possible that in some spiritual manner, I don't fully understand the ways of your kind entirely, as much as our research has attempted to. You have walked these halls. Perhaps, if you would permit me, in your time before, as a Quajin, the existence, whatever your kind experience when they leave this world before they return, it may have been something like this. Even in the halls of the Inquisition, there's reference to one of it's dictated there as the Thousand Hells, which I'm sure that's just a crude term, but the realm known as Kulin no Fuckery bears similar to this. I'm unsure if you've ever been there before, but that may be what evoked. I wasn't being entirely truthful with you before, but in a crude quoting of Emerson, there are many, many things a wise man should seek to be ignorant of. If I could remove my knowledge of what this place holds, even the barest glimpse that I have, please believe me, it's my earnest desire to do so. I am not attempting to mislead you. I am attempting to shield you from...
Oh, I am so going to see if he is lying because I, like...
Roll your wits. Because you got 0 insight.
What?
You can't tell.
Yeah, gaslit further.
I mean, I feel like it's technically the truth.
Would you like wits and insight, Mr. Locke? Would Aline try wits and insight?
This is hostile. This is a hostile workplace.
3 successes.
3 successes. Would you like to roll?
0. My 1 dot in manipulation and 0 dots in subterfuge.
Oh, well, if you have 0, then it means that Dr. Yue will actually know that you are.
So it's just
So wits and
wits.
insight?
And where is insight? Oh, there.
Down.
Yeah, so 6 dice.
6
Oh,
dice.
those are 2 successes.
He has more dice and wits and insight than you.
Yeah, that's 5.
I got 5.
Everyone knows he is lying through his teeth.
I don't know what...
You're walking around the truth, which is that Yue has been here before, just not this Yue.
Can I tell them that?
You can. It's up to you.
Yeah, I don't really think they want to know that. I don't want to know that.
It's up to you. Everyone knows you're just a liar.
It's true. I'm not even a real professor. I failed. I just didn't want to be Mr. Tristan.
Slightly less gaslit than before. Yue is going to turn to Professor Baum and say, yes, we will indeed have another discussion about this matter, but for the time being, given the years that I assume you would have spent studying this place, how do you propose we get out of our current predicament?
I believe and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to discuss further. Relying on the talents of yourself or Aline to perhaps thwart whatever we're encountering will be necessary. It's outside my understanding and I believe outside Mr. Locke's skill set.
Having previously failed, would it be possible for me to attempt to adjust the balance within Aline so that it gives her a better chance of success in finding a way out?
Yeah, you can try again.
Alright, so I'll adjust the balance on Aline. Like, should we work together in trying to find a structural weakness in this labyrinth? I could aid you.
Please.
Alright. Something I'm good at.
Why did no one offer to help me with my manipulation roll?
You rolled 1 die.
That's all I have.
Of course you're just...
He's just an honest professor.
Honest.
on it.
Lying through his teeth.
Slide through your teeth.
4 successes.
Alright.
So I place my hands on Elena's shoulder and I whisper in her ear, search.
Aline, can you please roll your sense the unnatural, but this time can you please add 2 dices to it?
Okay.
So it's resolve in occult.
Senses wits than the occult.
Is it wits in occult? Wits in occult?
And an extra 2 dice.
Oh, I'm sorry. One.
Was that with the extra dice?
Is it?
Is
You
it?
got 6
56.
6 in wits, 6, 3, another 3 in occult. So you have
Sorry. Take
that
2.
many more.
This one. Okay.
That's better. I was like, that doesn't sound
Three that
right.
time.
How many successes?
3.
3. Right, with 3 successes, which I was looking for. The difficulty is not that high, guys.
We were supposed to be competent this time.
We've made it this far.
True.
With 3 successes, Aline, you would notice that there is, aside from the fact that there's just 2 big forces, like a magnet on both sides, in the middle, there's actually a flow of energy going out. And if you tap the area around there, you would notice that there's actually a door. But it's quite heavy.
So I would.
What do you see?
There seems to be a door.
I gestured to what seems to me the wall. Here?
Through the path there.
It's just a wall for you.
Yeah, I go, it's like, knock, knock, knock. Here?
Is there a way to open it at all?
I can try. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll push the door open.
You can start, as you push, you can see the outlines start to show up. However, Aline, how much strength do you have?
I have 1.
Beer can. Straight.
Beer can, okay. It goes back to its original state.
I go in to help her. With my 1.
I'll also go to help
Mr. Locke, I
with
think
my 3.
this may be something that you would excel in.
Okay. Who's helping Mr. Locke open the door?
I'll help Mr.
Okay,
with my 3
everyone.
strength
We'll
as well.
all push it
Mr. Locke,
together.
yeah. Well, if there's enough room,
Alright,
we can all
Mr. Locke, can you please roll a strength in brawl with 3 extra dice? What's
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 successes and everyone helping with their 1 strength. Mr. Locke easily pushes open this door, and it's quite heavy. It makes it's like a rock on rock kind of grinding sound as it opens, revealing what seems to be a small living room.
Huh.
Wooden floor, tiny sofa.
Unexpected.
This you?
No, as I said, the experiences we'll have here. This may have yet come to us. This may be from one of our childhoods. As I said before, it's very difficult to pinpoint what each experience relates to.
Are there any... Mr. Locke's going to look around for sort of identifying features, maybe like photos of who might live here.
Yep. As you let go of the door and proceed forward, the door slowly closes back. And when you look back where it was, there's just the wooden wall of this living room. And you look around to find any identification as to who this belongs to. The only thing you can find is a drawing, like a rough drawing of a child. It's like a stick man. It's a stick man of this tiny little girl, a stick man of a woman with the skirt, a stick man of a grumpy guy with the sad face, and a stick man of a really tall guy with the sunglasses. And then there's a rough drawing of a van behind them. It doesn't look like a car, it's just like a square with like the circles on the bottom. And that's the only thing you can find.
Interesting.
What you got there?
I'm show the pictures.
This means nothing to me. I hand it over to Professor Baum.
I am entirely uncertain. Well, my book, but I'll catalogue that for further research and archiving back at the Ark. Unless if it's just here, if either of you would like to look at it, that's entirely fine. Put it straight back into my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are there any Like, what does the room look like? Does it look like it's from like our period? Does it look like the age of the inhabitants? Like, does it give any clues as to who the owner might be?
It looks to be, one of those log cabins in the woods in modern times. If you look outside, there is actually a wooded area in one of the windows. And then it's just a one room. There's one door, but doesn't seem to be another door leading out to another bedroom or anything like that. It's just one room of a log cabin. Has a sofa in the middle. There seems to be like a stack of books at the edge. The fridge has the drawings where you found the drawing from. There seems to be, when you open the cupboards, there's nothing but the plates, clean plates and clean pair of cutlery.
No bed, no toilet.
No.
I tread carefully and entering through the doors. It's potentially space folded in on itself. You could be hurled thousands of kilometers, which, being stranded is its own issue, but should then be a lack of sustainable shelter. Such as yourself, Dr. Yue, getting caught in the sun is the last thing.
Oh, is it daylight outside?
No.
Just if you were to go
Yeah.
out there and then suddenly time unfolds and the cabin disappears, you're stranded in the middle of nowhere.
Excellent point, Professor.
I'd like to see if I can have a look around and if I can see anything.
Sus.
Sus.
Vibe checks. Sus.
Vibe checks. All right. Well, with your previous role, let's go with that. Since it's still the same scene, you would note that the door, because if you look at it in a layout gray kind of vision with your sense and natural, the cabin itself are just walls. Even the door itself is part of the wall, and you can see that the outline of the floor is the actual entrance to something else. It's the actual exit. The door is part of the wall, and people who enters there usually just, who knows. But there is another trap door that leads to the actual exit. It is underneath the sofa.
Okay, so I'd like to let them all know, guys. It looks like there's a trapdoor under here. And kind of move
Chris is
the
gonna
couch
jump up on the
across.
couch.
Go in it.
What's like stand on it?
After it's moved, yeah. I have had previous poor experiences with random doors appearing in the ground.
So I might need to ask for some help with moving the sofa, but
Like, I'll help.
Both with your one strength.
Especially if the professor's standing on it.
I'll jump on it after it's moved.
Okay. Mr. Locke will also help move the couch.
It's like Aline and Dr. Yu on one side, like struggling, and then Mr.
like
Lux
one
is like,
hand.
yeah.
Like one hand.
Tristan's just going to keep looking behind him uncertainly, almost like appearing someone to appear, and this is spar to him in the back. Not that that's ever happened before.
All right, we I guess the floor is yours, literally.
So is it like an actual trapdoor or is it another hidden door?
It is an actual trap door.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's just it's been hidden by the sofa that if you didn't see it in a way, you would have gone through the other obvious door.
Cool. I go to pry it open.
It's quite windy the moment you open it. Wind blows. Amazing commercial here.
Yeah.
It's quite cold. And you peer in, and it's just a ladder going down.
That's not ominous at all.
I'm gonna compose myself and hop down from the seat. Like, I apologize. My body made me do that.
All right. I guess again, as the only undead among us, I will go first.
I'm more than happy if you desire to go first. That's entirely fine. I'm happy to go ahead. Just should this place take hold of you again, I just want I don't want, on the off chance that something is to happen down there, I don't want you to be the first to face it entirely. And should there be
Whilst
any...
they're talking, Mr. Locke starts climbing down.
That's fair. And I'll be like, I take that back.
Hey, wait up! And I hop in second.
You guys take forever talking. I also go with Mr. Locke.
The storytelling piece.
It's like when there's like a NPC interaction and then you're just like skip.
Interaction, the dialogue. I was trying to be nice.
So Aline goes last?
I would follow.
I'll go last.
Okay.
We'll give the log cabin once look over.
Just close it.
Sus.
As you close it down, however, Professor Tristan, you somehow at the edge, like as the very last thing closes, you would see at least a familiar pair of sneakers, which usually Seven wears.
In the cabin.
Yep,
Are they small still?
it's small. And then you close, and it's
Keep closing it.
You keep closing it.
Well, do I have the opportunity to lift it open again? Yeah, so it's like, I think it's just as I close it.
just as it close.
Okay.
It's just a vision. Oh. And we go down. As all of you are going down, one thing you would notice, Mr. Locke, is that the surrounding walls are starting to turn from stone to glass to mirror until you can see yourself climbing down. Millions of you, infinity, climbing down.
Somehow I do not like this at all. I'm like,
If I look down, can I see anything?
It's just darkness.
Is it all the walls reflecting all of us?
Yes.
Tristan's going to stop and just look at the reflections. Do any of the reflections show any events that are different to what's happening right now? Like he's going to stop. Do any of his reflections looking back look any different to him?
Ooh, what's an awareness?
oh.
Sauce.
Sus.
Big sauce.
Big stuff.
Capital sus.
Three successes.
With 3 successes, you would notice, at least as all of you are climbing down slowly and carefully, you will notice that the ones who are nearest to you look the same. It's you looking back at yourself. However, the ones further away seems to be different. If you look closely enough, you would see, at least at the very distant suspect, you would notice Dr. Yue. Instead of like climbing down, she is just walking forward, but in a downward way, you know? She's walking as if she's being pursued by something.
Do I see that?
Tristan, you're going to call to attention, like, Dr. Yue, please.
Hello?
If you'll observe at the very, very depths.
It's awareness. See if you can actually see that far away.
Oh my god.
You're talking mad shit, Professor. Mad shit.
This professor's going insane. Every professor goes insane.
Sus. Oh, 3 successes.
Oh yeah. Then you would see yourself.
Is that? And I would like to, with one hand still holding onto the ladder, kind of see if I can touch.
As you go to touch Dr. Yue, the mirror,
Yeah.
this like thing suddenly just pops out of nowhere and screeches at you. And it seems to be just a small humanoid form on all fours. It's all gray with splotches of black. The eyes are so big, it looks like bug eyes. And it opens its mouth and it's just rows and rows of teeth as it screeches at you.
Would I know what sort of creature this is? With my occult/Quasian knowledge?
You can roll for it. Intelligence occult.
Can we all roll and all
Yeah.
find what it is? I swear to God, if you say it's a small Asian girl who smells of chicken nuggets.
Oh. 5. Is that
That's
a
a-
messy crit?
2.
Yeah.
2. There's no messy crit wood.
Oh, fuck.
There's a
It's in the
crit though.
It's a really rough-
And a success.
Okay. So that's 5.
Yeah.
You're not doing very well. You've cursed us.
Oh
This
no!
team.
Aline's in the curse seat.
Oh no.
How many successes did you get?
I made 2.
2.
That is supernatural, made of supernatural.
Yes, it's
I'm a
a
professor, you
creature.
That is not a normal human on all fours with the rows of fangs.
Dr. Yue, you would know that this creature is the same, at least. It's a creature from Outer Dark.
Oh. Yeah, we do not want to mess with that. It seems to be contained by the mirrors, but we do not want that crossing over.
Mr. Locke, you would also recognize this creature as one of those things that you have encountered in your field, and you know how hard it is to kill.
If that's the case, then don't touch the mirrors.
Is the thing still like, is it smashing against the
It
mirror?
is smashing its head on the mirror, trying to get at Dr. Yue.
Does the mirror look like it's showing any signs of cracking at all?
No.
Okay.
Yep. Onwards we go.
You can still.
As crawling down, just in true fashion, this seems to be his thing. Professor Tristan's going to say, as I was saying, Doctor,
Yes.
it is the research has indicated that with the reflection of time and space, the idea of the multiverse is perhaps, especially nowadays, based on what we encounter, something that seems possible. That it is very possible that some version of yourself has walked these halls.
If I glow red and become a witch, would I be able to cross these barriers?
What?
I'm sorry. Maybe that was, I'm trying to lighten them. Sorry. I
Don't know what to say. I mean, it's possible. But yes, please. When I say that, I do not, to my knowledge, you have not been here. But that, as I stated before, that may not be correct. That is
very
just my
well,
opinion.
Professor. Slightly less gaslit. Is still a little bit untrusting towards Professor Baum.
That's
but
Susie.
she accepts his answer for now. I try to look to that distant spot again. Am I still there?
You're not there anymore.
Tristan's going to throw a very meaningful look at Mr. Locke after he's finished talking to Yue.
Through UA down the ladder.
Yeah, look at you to Yue. Actually, you. Look down to Aline to see what Aline's doing for a bit. It's a nightmare down here. If I could, I'd look at nothing. I'm gonna close my eyes again as I walk down, just like last time. I hate it down here. I'm gonna say that aloud
I'm just like, understatement of the century.
in case that little message in my head is still there listening. Hate this place.
You're the only group to have to gone through it twice.
God. Let's keep it that way.
For now.
So yeah, if we're still going down the ladder,
After a few minutes, you finally reach the end. And the creature is still trying to reach at you, screeching,
Oh God.
gargling, snarling.
Pay it. I would suggest no attention. It's if our theory on time rifts and spatial breaks is possible, it's very likely that may be a reflection of you in some sort of other reality, who a far less fortunate version of you.
Thank you, Professor. I feel much safer already.
One nice manipulation. No, I'm trying to be.
You just call Dr. Yue ugly.
No, I'm just saying that it's possible.
It's possible she could be that ugly.
Yeah. Like, alright, I pay the creature no mind. But, yeah, I guess what do we arrive to?
You arrive to a three, at least a split on the road is 3. Left, center, and right.
Does any of them have a light coming from it?
The left one is showing light coming from it.
I'm just like, why do I feel like I've been here before?
I'd like to see if I can get a sense on any of them.
Yeah, of course.
Place.
Let's
Roll
all
your
link
sense
hands and
natural.
go in.
So just wits and awareness.
Yeah, wits and occult. So that's should be 6 dice.
Thank God we hired her early, otherwise she'd be in charge. She's got higher dice
that's
than me.
5.
5. Oh, yeah. Just kick out Professor Tristan. You're useless.
I'll start making the coffees. Where's my assistant?
You are
Tristan?
ready. You're ready.
You're already making coffees.
Our new agent,
Our
Mr.
true
Lily.
leader. Our true leader.
right.
Take that, Corral.
Mr. Max is gonna be Mr. Max. Ooh.
Draw.
He's gonna be a field agent.
There's too many field agents in this team. Not enough assistants.
But yeah, Aline, you would know that at least at the end of the corridor that's showing light is like there's several creatures that is showing aggression towards. You can get the general feel of that. On the right side, you can sense nothing. However, on the middle, you can sense one lone creature.
I'll let them know just what I've seen
Mm-hmm.
and just ask.
Well, we are still here to find Mr. Talon, are we not?
We are.
And he is but one man, and I point to the middle with one signature.
Yes. It's possible he may not be the only solo signature down here, but I think that conclusion is a solid one.
Well, we could also go to the left where there is the light, but it and I like shudder. It kind of feels like a trap, if I am to be completely honest. I don't know why I feel this way.
And your inner demon is just
It's like,
screeching and just hissing, trying to pull you away from that area.
I think it's similar to an anglerfish in that in the dark, things are drawn to the light, and that's when it feeds.
Because it is comforting.
my intuition is telling me that we should not go to the left. So I vote center if this is a voting
I vote the
situation.
center as well. As long as Aline's able to keep a strong track on this signature.
Center. She pulls out her gun. Just in case.
If this is whom we are seeking, please bear in mind, as I said, I'm unsure on what state he will be in.
Very well. I pull out my dagger.
I'll keep going.
You're gonna be the first one.
No, oh god, no.
Well, I mean,
There's two options really of what's down there, and I don't want to be the first one to encounter either of them.
and I go,
All right. Mr. Locke goes first.
lead the way.
I would like to follow closely behind Mr. Locke.
Oh, all right.
Well, okay, I'm going third then, I guess.
I would like to leave, go home, and cry. Is that an option?
No.
No.
Fine, I'll go last then.
You know, in a party, when they are walking in a straight line through a corridor, the last person, or at least the one at the end, always goes missing. However, in this instance, this doesn't happen because we will not give Professor Tristan Baum an easy way out.
I went missing and woke up and it was all the dream. I wish.
Cool. As we head down the corridor, do we start to see anything?
Yes, as you start to head down the corridor, there's actually like a small amount of light filtering through somehow at the corner. And when you turn the corner, you're the first to notice this. You would smell blood just a lot of blood, rotting flesh, things that you have encountered on the field. Smells like just rotten.
Do I get a whiff of that as well?
You get the whiff after, and then Aline as well.
It's okay, I'm on 1 hunger, I'm safe.
And lastly, Professor would get a whiff of that as you turn the corner. And Mr. Locke, you would notice that there are countless of bodies on the floor. They are set up in like groups. One group is actually dressed up quite similarly to you. But you notice that they are missing one member. So there's only 3 of them instead of 4.
So one's dressed like me. Are the others dressed like anyone in
The others are dressed similarly. So one group is dressed similarly to you, but there's only 3 of them. The other groups of 4, there's 4 in total. One group is dressed like a Second Inquisition tactical team, like full gear and everything. They are just piled up on top of each other. The third group are dressed like civilians, and they're just piled up on top of each other. And the fourth group are dressed like researchers, and they are once again piled up on top of each other. Except for the group that is dressed similarly to Mr. Locke.
I head over to that group and just see if I can recognize any of them.
You don't recognize any of them? None of them look familiar to you. However, as you look through, are you also looking through, Dr. Yue? You would find at least the IDs and badge numbers. And you confirm that they do work for Second Inquisition. However, the numbers on it is quite questionable. Because it says that the ID is saying that it's been issued on this day.
Professor?
Yeah,
The
check this
team
out.
that went missing, or the teams that went missing, and I take the ID badges. Like, are the faces still recognizable?
I don't have any face.
Oh no.
Were there teams that went missing? Like, were teams sent down here? It was just
You
cordoned
didn't-
off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There were no teams. I've been in this area from being investigated.
So Talon came down here alone, or did he come here with a team? And that was the only team.
He did not come down alone, but the others all made it out. He was the only one still down here.
Where are the others? Why have we not spoken with them?
As I mentioned with the temporal thing, they're long gone. These events came to pass long ago
But how can you be certain that they made it out?
because I witnessed it. I oversee the entire arc. Nothing happens here that I'm not aware of. And if something does much like this, we investigate. In terms of decomposition, Dr. Yue, how long do you think these bodies have been here? It may give us an accurate idea of, in the outside world, how long we've been down here.
Would I be able to use my medicine
Oh yes.
knowledge?
Intelligence and medicine.
Distraction.
Oh.
Very good. Oh, whoops.
Too close for comfort for Tristan.
I don't want to lie, but I don't want to give it straight away. Just be like, sit down. You died here.
Oh.
6.
With 6 successes, you would know that the wounds are quite fresh. Rigor mortis haven't even set in yet. However, the blood and decay surrounding them they're like decades old.
I'm getting mixed readings here. The blood is decades old, but the wounds are fresh. Could it be another rift in time?
Very possible. It may.
Could also be that the blood isn't from these people.
Oof. If only we had someone that could taste the blood. But no.
You're gonna
we
drink
don't.
the blood.
No, we don't.
Would Eileen be able to investigate the bodies and...
Yeah. I'd say intelligence and investigation.
Intelligence negation. The best. Alright, I'm cursed. It's
3.
on the table, isn't it?
3. You're the curse.
I am the curse.
You've gone back.
The curse of life.
With 3 successes, Aline, you would be able to put together, at least like when the IDs have been set down and everything, you would notice that they are on the same team division, and you can put together that somehow they are missing one member of their team. These bodies are freshly killed. But then you look at Mr. Locke, and she's wearing the same vest and tactical gear as the rest of them. Maybe asking Mr. Locke for her badge might give some insight into this.
Go up to Mr. Locke and ask, just have a little look at the badge, if I could, please.
This one?
That one. Yep, that's the one.
Take it off and I hand it over.
Yep. So you hand it over, you turn it over, and usually the IDs itself would open up to show the ID and identification of the member of whoever this belongs to. And Aline, as you put down everyone's IDs, to like Mr. Locke's IDs with the deceased, you would notice that they are the same in the same team with the serial number.
Not sure what this means. They're on the same team.
I don't know either. Are you familiar with any of these names?
I'm not. I don't recognize any of these people.
Am I able to? Is this?
Also, it's a lie that you don't know about
I was
it.
about to say. I realized I was like, wait, is this the team that originally went from last time?
Yes. Most likely, you will put this together.
Very
Professor.
slowly.
Very slowly.
As I mentioned previously to Dr. Johansson, sit down with them all, like gesture, like huddle around the badges.
Come in, team.
As I mentioned previously, a theory that has been put forward is that the finning of different dimensions, realms, worlds, however you may view it, may occur here. It is my belief that this is such a thing that has occurred, and much like what we witnessed back in the refraction chamber, I guess, with the mirror previously, this is evidence of Mr. Locke and some other team you led at some point coming here. It's interesting that, as you said, Doctor, that you're experiencing feelings of deja vu of being here before, and now we have, while not conclusive, circumstantial evidence that also Mr. Locke has been present too. At this same time, at this same date, which is such a conjunction cannot possibly be just a coincidence. There's something more at work here.
Well, in that case, it only confirms what we have already been speculating. So we should keep going.
We should tread carefully also when we leave from here. It's very possible that we will leave and enter somewhere different than when we originally came from. If such a thing is to be believed, that we have evidence here right now that a different Mr. Locke led a team that did not exist from where we are from into this mine, and now we are standing in that same room.
I would like to just pull out my pen and paper.
Oh, God, okay, I'm glad that's what you're pulling out. Dagger.
And just quickly write a note and say, like, Dr. Yue, the date, and with members Mr. Locke, Professor Baum, and Eileen, like, was here in search of Mr. Talon. and then I rip the note from my book, and then I fold it, but so that the writing is still visible, and I kind of put it on the bodies under the badge.
Okay.
It's possible that this temporal rift may be affecting things. They said we're seeing accelerated decay, but a very brief time of death. It's like watching the note. Does the note decay or anything? It's not like things are decaying here rapidly.
No.
Oh, good. Okay,
Well,
cool.
the
We're not getting
badges are staying intact, so I assume the note would be fine.
That's true. Just more. I was concerned about the condition of paper in this area.
Oh yeah.
So I guess if we come across these bodies again and the note's gone, we've potentially
Found something.
lateral movement into another
Yeah.
realm where the bodies are still here, but before the notes were put down.
Yeah, let's cross that bridge when we get there.
It's also my concern that perhaps, especially if this other team are down here, based on the instruction that others may have given, so if a team was sent down here to eradicate whatever they encounter, we may come across this team before their death and face aggression.
Well, I mean, this time I pull out my dagger.
I'm just making sure we're all prepared for what may come to, or may have already come to pass, but we have yet to encounter.
And the fact that these are apparently my team, but I am not amongst them, means that I may also be down here.
Or survived and got out.
But I haven't been here before.
The other you.
Or maybe you are the other you, and this loop is somehow starting to close itself.
Maybe.
All theories, no evidence.
Yeah,
No.
let's keep going.
Grab my badge, but I also actually grab the badges of the team because I don't say it out loud, but if they've come from a different time, a different place that I don't know of, they may not have anyone to remember them by. So I will.
These nameless soldiers. At least somebody will remember them. What's the plan? Moving
We keep
forward?
Continuing
Going.
on. Move forward, or backwards, depending on your point of view.
Upside down.
More of a slight slant. 45-degree angle forwards.
Alright. Aline, you will most likely be the one leading forward, considering the fact that you are the only person who can sense this entity. And it is leading you through this extremely narrow hallway to the point that most of you are sideways, threading it, until you reach the end of it and you stumble out into this open room. Who is following Aline?
I will.
Yeah, I definitely would be as well.
I'll
Okay,
be
who-
at the back of the group then.
Alright. So Aline will be followed, at least stumble out, see something shocking, followed by Dr. Yue, followed by Professor Tristan, and finally Mr. Locke. And finally, after this grueling, a few hours maybe has passed, but you finally, at least Professor Tristan, would have found what you were looking for, which is Mr. Talon. What would you say when you see Mr. Talon?
Mr. Talon.
And with that, we end our story. Thank you guys very much for joining us on this last episode finale of Red Center by Night, Second Inquisition. Join us again next week as the Bahari group deals with their own finale. Once again, my name is Rina, and check out NFL Dices as her dice are amazing.
My name is Catherine, and I play Mr. Talon.
Talon?
Shot
Yeah, Talon's been recasted! shocked.
The loop closing.
Closed.
Oh, that was so
What would you say to
confident
Mr.
that
Talent?
time too.
I like you much more.
This Mr. Talent is sexier. I like it.
Welcome to sexy season 2.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I don't know anymore in this weird temporal fields. I could be anyone. I'm Catherine, and I play Mr. Locke.
Oh, voila. I am Evie, and I am playing Dr. Yue 2.0.
I am Joel, and I'm playing Professor Tristan Baum. Hopefully more effective, but not doing so well this time.
And I'm Renee, and I'm playing Eileen, and the nervous assistant.
Who's getting a raise?
Should be promoted to the head of the arc.
Yeah. I'm retiring. I'm going with Davis.
And with that, we end our story. Thank you guys very much. Bye. Hey.
Was it a temporal loop because this is not the last episode, but it's the last episode? The loop continues.